Rents are going down. Not everywhere, not every city in the US, but they generally are, especially if you add in the concessions. On average, renters are now slowly paying less and less and less, even though rent prices are pretty steady. And I'll get into what's going on here because Redfin and Zillow are saying that renters have the edge right now because a few months ago, it was the landlords that have the edge over the renter and could command insanely high prices. And look at some of these units, for example, in the Bay Area, just over construction. They're making a bunch of these units which nobody wants, even though they really are some fantastic units, but nobody wants these units. And now many of these units are going foreclosure, or landlords are offering some insane concessions just to drag you as a renter into their sphere. If you look at this, renters are offered more concessions than ever before, probably one of the highest in US real estate market history. Rents are rising, but landlords and property managers are offering amazing sweeteners that pretty much make the rent are rising phrase more like rents are dropping. Because when you have 2 to 3 months of free rent, and even though the rents have not went down, on average, you're only paying 9 months a year, you're essentially saving a lot of money. If you check out what's going on, renters are seeing more concessions than ever before. With 30% of listings offering at least one concession, 43 of the 50 biggest markets in the US have more rental concessions now than last year. Concessions are often rising in markets where there's a lot of multifamily construction booming. There is a lot of development around the US. Like seriously, if you just go to places like Dallas, for example, there are just so many homes that are being built. They're building these nonstop. And I'm talking about the new construction properties. If you just look at homes from the pandemic to now, this is insanity right here. This is not normal. And zoom out, you get even more red dots. And what the crazy part is, do you see these little dots here that have like the little house logo on it? These are not individual homes. These are literal individual community of homes, numbering from as few as just 3 to 5 to as much as 80 to 90 homes. So yes, there seems to be a massive oversupply and overbuilding of homes. And even look at this, even huge condos are just straight up being built in places like Dallas and other cities. And they're building these massive towers nonstop. And it's like one of the craziest situations I've ever seen. Talked to some real estate agents recently. They said they've never seen this much new construction in their career, in their 20, 30-year career. Construction in the US right now is at an all-time high. They're building so many of these homes. And remember, several of these communities, they started when 0% interest rates were here. So they took out huge fat loans and built insane amounts of homes. And now guess what? Interest rates are up and they are just finishing these communities, and they started noticing there's not enough buyers on the market, so many of these homes in just a few months, if they don't get sold, will enter the rental markets. Either they're single family, townhouses, or apartment complexes. In fact, fun fact, single family homes are making up a bigger chunk of the rental market than ever before, which is probably the over construction, and that's the main reason why there seems to be so many single family homes for rent nowadays. And they're offering some pretty insane incentives to get people to rent with them. And of course, if you get towards more expensive markets like Southern California, you're going to be seeing even more free rents. Amid vacancies, South Bay landlords offer free rents, essentially. High rents have become a big fact of life in the Bay Area. I mean, when you're in San Francisco downtown, you're paying like $3,000 for a box. And now there's a lot of incentives like reduced security deposit, first month free, or second month free. And this is from a real estate agent overseeing more than 300 rental properties in Southern Bay. They're essentially seeing many of these landlords fighting tooth and nail just to get some tenants. It's hard to get tenants nowadays. If you look at this, there's apartment buildings in downtown San Jose, rents ranging from $2,700 to $3,000 a month. Let's be real. San Jose, if you've ever been there, is a very, what can I say? It's a very vacant city. There's just really not that many people. Some people even compare it to a ghost city. There's about like 80 empty retail stores, and it's actually pretty freaky. And they're trying to command like $3,000 a month, which is absurd. But even though it's $3,000 a month, they're going to be giving you guys some pretty insane deals. So this is a really weird scenario that we're in because many of these landlords, they don't want to drop the rent. They don't really want to drop that number. Like 3,000, they're going to keep it at 3,000, but they're going to offer you 2 months free rent. So essentially rents are down, but it's not really on paper. It's kind of weird that landlords are doing this. And people are saying that it may be because they still want to keep the insanely high value of their home. So they're offering you very high rents, but you get a few months off, or you get a free parking pass, or a bunch of gift cards, and some just no security deposit at all. So this is causing a pretty massive change in the US real estate market. And it's actually pretty unique to see this. And guess what? Rents will continue to get cheaper. Not maybe, it will. Because new construction homes is at one of the all-time highs. Lumber costs is at an all-time low. Steel, aluminum are very cheap right now. They're going down in price. Oil, don't even get me started. Oil prices crashed recently. And new home construction increased in October for a second straight month. It just keeps jumping, guys. The measure of new home construction jumped by 1.9% in October compared to the previous month. And it's just increasing every single day. They're building these communities nonstop. A lot of these communities are getting insanely cheap loans and mortgages to build these. And they're passing a lot of these homes to the renters and buyers. And there's just only so much stuff you could do when it comes to rents. You know, you can offer concessions, you offer this and that, but when you have a huge inflow of homes, guess what? You're going to have cheaper rents, no matter how much concessions you offer. So if you look around, free rent offers are surging in Dallas. If you're a Dallas resident, seriously ask around. Don't be a sucker and not get free rents. In fact, a lot of people are saying just getting 2 months or 1 month of free rent will actually fatten their bank account a little bit. It really matters a lot. So North Texas landlords are offering more incentives like free months of rent or free parking, according to a recent analysis by Zillow. And Zillow calling these sweeteners. And rents are still rising, but they're rising very slowly. Dallas rents are pretty flat, but at the same time, it's weird because they don't want to lower their rents. They'll much rather offer you a free 2-month rent type deal than lower the rent altogether. So yeah, in October, 46% of Zillow rental listings in Dallas, pretty much half of them, featured incentives like free rents, which is the most popular one, free parking, or upgraded access to amenities, which is much higher than the national average of 30%. Dallas is home to so many tech companies and still having a massive inflow of employees. And despite having an inflow of population and people, the rents are now slowly freezing up and going down. And we're seeing landlords, many of them, just throwing in the white towel. Because you have places like Oakland where a overbuilding supply of apartments and homes caused one of the biggest rent drops in American history. In just the past few months, Oakland dropped 7.2% in rental prices, which is an insane number. And some apartment complexes are literally offering you like a free parking pass, a Starbucks gift card, and then 3 months of free rent just to come to their apartment complex. And those are some of the juiciest deals. So if you're going to a big city, seriously, don't be shy. Ask around, and you might find yourself to get some pretty insane deals. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe for more.